Hello guys, welcome to Movie Cafe. Today I have brought a super action movie, that is the famous John Wick movie. So far, 4 John Wick movies have been released. All these 4 movies have become extremely popular all over the world. Today I bring John Wick 1 movie. Before starting the story, I will explain the underworld of this movie. This underworld has a regime, that means there is a set of rules that govern the assassins in this underworld. All assassins are subject to this regime. There is a special place here called the Continental, which provides accommodation and various other facilities to all the hired killers. All these facilities have to be availed in cash, and here this special coin race is used. There is a legal system in this Continental. Doing business in this Continental is prohibited, and mainly killing people is also prohibited. In case of violation of these rules, the manager of the Continental Hotel can expel that person from the Continental membership, and he can give the corresponding penalties. Continental does not provide any kind of protection or any facility to a person who is expelled from the Continental Hotel. I am describing here only the functions of Continental Hotel related to John Wick 1 movie. Let's get to the story then. A car driven by John Wick collides with a wall. Bloodied and injured, he staggers out of the truck. Then later he takes out his phone and views a video of his wife Helen on the beach while he crawls to the side. John slouches and closes his eyes. Several days before this, on a cloudy day, John wakes up. He gets flashbacks of being with Helen. Helen is John's wife. John spends some time happily with Helen, but unfortunately Helen dies due to illness. When Helen's funeral is over, John meets an old friend named Marcus. Marcus expresses his regret over Helen's death and leaves. A few days later, John receives a package from John's wife, Helen. Helen knew that she was going to die, and this package was there before she died. The package was a puppy, and this puppy was the last gift John received from Helen. One day, John drives his car to a gas station with his puppy, where John meets 3 Russian boys. One of them is Yosef. Yosef is the son of Vigo, a leader of the underworld. Yosef likes John's car. Yosef wants to get John's car, but John doesn't like it. Yosef doesn't lose his interest in John's car. Yosef sneaks into John's house one night with his 2 friends. After that, they beat John badly and steal John's car. Not only that, but also kill the puppy that Helen gave John. Then Yosef and his friends go to Aurelio to change the VIN number of the car they stole from John. Aurelio is a person who works under Yosef's father. Aurelio looks at the vehicle and asks, "Where did you get this car?" Aurelio is reluctant to change the VIN number of this vehicle and demands that the vehicle be taken out of the shop immediately. Meanwhile, Yosef tells Aurelio that he also killed John's puppy. Aurelio, angered by it, and strikes Yosef. At the same time, Yosef and his friends leave Aurelio's shop. John sadly buries the last gift he received from his wife. Then he goes to meet Aurelio. John and Aurelio are old friends, and Aurelio knows that Yosef stole John's vehicle. John has also known that his car must have been taken to Aurelio's shop. Aurelio tells John that Yosef came to his shop and later sent back, and Aurelio tells John that it was Vigo's son who stole the car. John goes back home and breaks the floor of the basement and takes out a big box. At this time, John is very angry. The box was full of guns and coins. John is going to take revenge on killing his puppy. Meanwhile, Vigo, a leader of the underworld, makes a phone call to Aurelio. Vigo asks Aurelio, "Did you hit my son?" Aurelio then tells Vigo about what Yosef has done. At that time, Vigo gets scared after hearing what his son has done. After that, Vigo asks Yosef to come and hits 2 consecutive blows. Yosef cannot imagine the reason why his father hit him. Vigo then explains to his son who John is. That John had previously worked with Vigo, that many people address him as Baba Yaga, and Vigo tells Yosef that he is one of the most dangerous assassins in the underworld. At this time, Yosef is very scared and realizes the seriousness of his mistake. Vigo tells Yosef that he once saw John kill 3 men with a pencil. One day, John suddenly asked Vigo for permission to leave this job. John asked for permission to resign because he wanted to start a new life with Helen. So Vigo gave a work one last time, but it is a task that no one has been able to do before. But John completed that task as well. It is because of the bodies buried by John that day was the foundation what Vigo is in now. Yosef realizes that a vicious killer who was sleeping has risen again. Vigo knows that John is coming after Yosef. Vigo makes a phone call to John. John listens and hangs up without saying a word. At the same time, Vigo realizes that John is very angry. Vigo decides to kill John and sends all the assassins around him to kill John. John was already ready for it and killed all of Vigo's assassins. There are groups in this underworld that clean up all the dead bodies and bloodstains without any evidence. John pays them to clean his house. Here they use the same type of coins that I told you about in the underworld. Vigo finds out that John killed all the assassins he sent, so Vigo hides Yosef in the red circle. This red circle is a club. Vigo then goes to meet Marcus. You know Marcus is an old friend of John's. He is also a mercenary assassin, and he is a sniper shooter. Vigo met with Marcus and offer him a $2 million contract to kill John. Marcus accepts that contract. John returns to his familiar New York Continental after 5 years, and he meets his old friends. John also meets an old friend named Perkins, and she is also a mercenary. Anyway, only the assassins come to this Continental hotel. In the meantime, Marcus chases after John and stays on the top floor of a building near the Continental Hotel until there is an opportunity to kill John. John meets manager of Continental. His name is Winston. John and Winston are close friends. John tells Winston that he wants to meet Yosef, but Winston does not help John at once, because it is forbidden to do any bussiness in the Continental premises. Murders are also prohibited in the Continental premises. So Winston indirectly tells John where Yosef is. Winston tells John that Yosef is in the red circle with strong security. John then goes to the red circle and kills a large number of Vigo's people. But Yosef somehow escapes with one of his 2 friends. But John kills his other friend in the red circle. John is injured in the battles of the red circle, so John comes back to New York Continental and gets a medical treatment and falls asleep. Meanwhile, Marcus, who is under contract to kill John, who is staying in a building near the Continental Hotel, aims his sniper rifle to kill John. At this time, another guest comes to John's room. That's Perkins. Marcus sees that Perkins is coming to harm John. Marcus fires a shot to wake John up, and John wakes up to the sound of the gunshot. Even though Marcus gets the contract from Vigo, Marcus protects John, and Marcus doesn't want to kill John. John wakes up with the sound of gunfire,
wrestles with Perkins, and eventually subdues Perkins. Although murder was banned on the Continental premises, Perkins violated the law, as Vigo gave Perkins another $4 million contract to kill John. Taking advantage of it, John finds out about Vigo's secret documents, CDs, and a storehouse of essential information. The store is a fake church, and has been used as such a fake church to protect Vigo's secret documents, after knowing the information. Perkins is handed over to John's friend Harry. John then went to church and killed the thugs there, and destroyed all the secret documents of Vigo. John knows that Vigo will be there as soon as he finds out that the store has been destroyed. In the meantime, Perkins kills Harry and escapes from Continental. Perkins escapes by breaking the main law of the Continental Hotel at this time. After a while, Vigo and his group come to the fake church. At that time, John attacked and killed more people. But this time, Vigo captured John. Vigo scolds John for taking this issue so far because of a car and a puppy. At the same time, John begins to shout that after Helen's death, he is left with only the puppy. At the same time, Vigo leaves, giving the order to kill John. Once again, Marcus saves John's life. John kills the other assassin and runs to capture the Vigor. John captures Vigo and finds out where Yosef is. John leaves Vigo unkilled, because John only wants revenge on Yosef. John goes to the place where Vigo said and killed all the guards. At the time, Yosef was with his other friend, and John killed him too. As before, Yosef tries to escape from that place. But this time, John blows all the vehicles, so that no one can escape. John kills all the guards around Yosef. Eventually, John kills Yosef and completes revenge. Vigo learns that his son is dead. After Yosef's death, John prepares to return home. John meets Marcus again on his way home. John knows that Marcus saved his life several times. Someone else sees the meeting of these two. It's none other than Perkins. Perkins tells Vigo about this incident. Vigo is very angry because Vigo had already given Marcus a contract to kill John. Vigo kills Marcus and takes revenge because Vigo knows that Marcus had a good chance of killing John. Later, Vigo makes a phone call and tells John what he did to Marcus, because Vigo is already ready to leave New York. John turns the car and goes to Marcus's house. John sees Marcus dead.
Meanwhile, Perkins receives a phone call from Continental manager Winston. Winston asks Perkins to come to meet. Perkins is already breaking Continental laws, so Winston expelled Perkins from the Continental membership and then killed. Also, Winston gives information to John about where Vigo is. Vigo is trying to escape from a chopper. So John drives his car to catch Vigo, and John catches Vigo before he escapes. John kills all of Vigo's security. In the end, only John and Vigo are left. They both wage an unarmed fight, knowing that John cannot be defeated, so Vigo tries to kill John using a knife, but in the end, John uses the same knife to kill Vigo. That's how John's revenge ends. Now, let's go to the first scene of the story. Now you can understand the reason why John was lying on the ground with injuries. In the final battle, John was injured, and it was the reasons that John fell to the ground. When he regains consciousness, John sees that he is near a dog shelter. He treats wounds from there. John sees a dog in this dog shelter. John then returns home with his new friend. This is where John Wick's first story ends. See you soon with John Wick Chapter 2.